Hello, guys. Welcome back to episode 6 of In the Vault. How's your week been looking?
You know what? These 4-day weeks, blessings for Easter long weekend, but these 4-day weeks really get you, doll. I feel like you always pay for that extra day.
I'm so overwhelmed this week with everything that I have to do that I almost feel like I've done nothing.
I feel like I'm in a bit of limbo, doll. I don't know if you guys are getting it in Queensland, but in New South Wales, we're getting the Monday public holiday off for Anzac Day.
Shane,
I think it might just be New South Wales.
this has been a bit of a kerfuffle for us Queenslanders. Why we don't get the public holiday because it's a Saturday, and then next year we're not getting it because it's a Sunday.
I feel like it's such a sacred day in New South Wales, and I feel like the other states really don't rally behind it as much as New South Wales do.
What?
Like we have two up. There's like rituals that exist within New South Wales that don't exist in any other state.
Just because we didn't do two up doesn't mean we're not riding for the Anzacs. I'm on that beach at 5 a.m, just as much as you are. Let's make like Victoria and get some public holidays. But why does Victoria get Melbourne Cup Day and AFL Grand Final Day?
The Friday before AFL. That's not the day. It's the Friday before the Grand Final. I'm petitioning for us Queenslanders and New South Welshmen to get the Friday before the NRL Grand Final off.
Get us State of Origin.
Oh, State of Origin off would be good, and it's a Wednesday.
Oh, it's a Wednesday, though. You want a long weekend.
Doll, I don't have a beauty product I've been loving.
You're not going to ask me how my week is?
No, I'm as bad as you, doll. That's what you did to me last week.
Lay it on me. Lay it on me.
How are you, doll? How was your week?
Well, it's not that great, actually. I woke up with a huge psoriasis flare up. My whole body is covered head to toe, doll. Itchy mess.
No.
I know. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go make myself feel better. I'm going to go to the nail salon and get my nails done.
Fair. Show us the nails. Give us a nail cam. The foot stuff you have to pay for.
Let me tell you, Ali Gray's toes come with a French tip. Well, I went to the nail salon and they were all like, oh, no. Oh, and it's all over your arms. And I was like, okay.
Like I looked in the mirror this morning, biatch. So talking about nails, I actually saw your Sally Hansen ad and those nails, what was the go there? They looked rough.
Yeah, so I went to a nail salon and they ripped off my acrylic nails and they fully messed up my nail beds. So I had to not be able to wear.
And is this why you were doing press-ons for a while?
Yes. And honestly, I love press-ons so much, especially the Sally Hansen press-ons. When I got engaged, I peeled off all my press-ons. It was such a big deal to me to have nails on when I got engaged. And so he was like, oh, I booked you in to go to the nail salon. So that was the first time I went back to the nail salon since that incident. So, and then they just started growing out. So I just went back. And so now I'm just back in a habit of getting my nails done at the salon. But you know what's really good? The Sally Hansen cuticle oil. Actually, that might be my rec for the week.
And it's got a cutesy little brush on it.
It does.
Kind of reminds me of the YSL
Trisha Clark
concealer.
Yeah. I have it in my car. Whenever I stop at the lights, I just pull out my pen, clean up my nail beds.
Remember we were having lunch and one of your fake nails popped off and flew across the table onto my plate. I've been loving, you better believe I'm going to talk about it, audiobook by Lisa Rinna.
Is it good?
Really good. It's really good. I'm about an hour and a half in. I think there's still 6 hours to go, but it's been so good and really insightful. Can I say I wasn't expecting to cry, but I cried on the first chapter. Yeah, because she talks about Lois, her mum's passing and everything that happens around that. So I cried, you laugh. It's actually like goes through the full wave of emotions. I've been really enjoying the audiobook and it almost kind of, it feels like a podcast.
Well, I listened to her podcast with Therapist. He's the guy on TikTok that he will be like, do Coca-Cola when they find out there's a Diet Coke version or something like that.
Oh, yes. So
that's his podcast. Yeah. And I always had like a certain sort of feeling towards Lisa Rinna, but after listening to that podcast, I was like, whoa, actually, I really like you.
No, and can I say, she actually gives a lot of context about her feelings and emotions coming into season 13. Her mum had literally just passed away and production essentially like bullied her into like flying out for a trip the day after her mother had died. Maybe it was a week after. It was an incredibly short amount of time. Doll, talking about Lisa Rinna, one of our topics this week is about one of her former co-star, not of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, of Traders, which I haven't watched, by the way, but
it's amazing.
I'm hearing a lot of really good things about this season. So maybe I'll watch this weekend. It's going to be cold and rainy in Sydney, so maybe I'll strap in and watch that. But we're talking about, and I'm going to kill this, it's either Rob Rausch or Rob Rausch. I'm not
And we
sure.
can't be bothered to look it up. I'm sure all could
No.
be fixed with a simple Google, but we can't be effed. Well, I actually was really surprised because the other day I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw Kosas had used him to promote their new lip plumpers, their lip pulsers that have just
Yes.
launched. They come in a
Yes.
variety of different
Which look
colors.
juicy.
They look so
They look juicy.
juicy.
They look juicy and funky
Can I
fresh.
just say, my first thought was, oh, that's quite cool. You know, putting a straight man on a beauty ad. I think it's nice to have a borderless community when it comes to beauty. And I think that a lot of straight men fear makeup. So to have someone like Rob Rausch, who is so popular, especially in the States at the moment, be on this campaign, I thought that was really cool. Until I opened the comments.
Totally.
People were not
Yeah.
happy Shane. Honestly, I didn't mind it. And then I really thought about it. And a lot of people in the comments were saying, oh, he's not even wearing the product on his lips. And I was like, surely. And then I did zoom in on his lips and I was like, they don't actually look like.
Looking a bit dry.
They actually don't look like they've got any product on.
I feel like this is an industry that has essentially catered around predominantly women, but also queer men, right? For a really long time. Not only that, but when you dig really deep, you look at MAC and their Viva La Glam and the AIDS support that comes from that range. Having RuPaul as the face, like men have played a part in beauty, and you look at Kevin Aquan, Jeffree Star, there's a plethora of men in beauty, but they're usually queer men or gay men, right? It's interesting that there is this one particular straight man that's consuming a lot of airtime in this space right now. And it does feel a little bit like we're being cheated.
Well, he did also do a campaign. He fronted a campaign for MAC.
A few weeks previously to the Kozas event, he was in Times Square. I forget what it was for.
I agree to an extent, but I also think that sort of conversation also makes men feel like they can't use a lip balm.
And even me, sometimes when I'm putting my lip balm on the train, I feel a little bit like, oh, am I doing something naughty? I agree to an extent as well, because I'm sitting here and saying that about women, but also exclusatory language to say that as well. I think beauty is in an era where it's the most inclusive it's ever been. And maybe this is just a shift in that direction. But also, I think something that's interesting is this feels very Abercrombie and Fitch to me.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. It feels very Abercrombie and Fitch, because like you think of Abercrombie and Fitch and the Y2K era of it all, using these really attractive men or traditionally attractive men to promote menswear and women's wear. It kind of feels adjacent to that. And that's the vibe I'm getting. But it wasn't really about the product. It was more about aspiration and desirability and linking that desirability of the product to the man for us to then purchase. You know?
It was definitely giving early Y2K hypersexual advertising, like those Guess campaigns, Abercrombie and Fitch, Calvin Klein. Surely there would be a non-compete in that contract, right? Especially for a beauty brand. I would be pissed if I found out that the MAC campaign came out and then 2 weeks later we were about to launch a campaign.
For context, if you're not working in a brand setting, these campaigns were probably shot like 3, 4, 5 months ago. These were probably shot a long time before we're seeing them. So agreed. I think I'd be very annoyed if I was MAC or Kozas.
Well, MAC less because they did it first. And they did it on a bigger scale than Kosas did. But that being said, so when you're an influencer, if you're doing a huge campaign, something like MAC, usually there will be something in your contract saying that you can't compete with another brand in this capacity. I reckon because he's a man and he hasn't actually done a lot of beauty before, MAC probably did this as an oversight, and so did Kosas. They've been like, oh, well, 100%. He's not going to have done another beauty brand.
He's not going to do another brand.
Swipe that exclusivity.
For sure.
And this has happened. Go Rob. Make that money, honey.
Oh, I would feel so jaded. If I was Kozas right now, I would feel jaded because like MAC doesn't care. That was a month ago. They've probably gotten everything they kind of need to get from that campaign.
I reckon there would be some pretty tough conversations to Rob's team at the moment from Kosas. They'd be like, okay, well, we're still going to launch it.
Yeah.
But just know we're very unhappy. Well, something else that's kind of upheaving the beauty industry, Jo Malone.
Jo Malone doll. I think this is like a really, really interesting case study for when someone sells their name and the flow on of that. Just to give some history, it was founded by Jo Malone and it was sold to Estee Lauder companies in 1999. In that deal, Jo Malone, the person, also sold the rights to her own name in fragrance. I personally think is crazy, especially if like you are a nose by trade.
She creates a lot of perfumes for other brands. She's a perfumer.
Correct. So fast forward, she launches Jo Loves. It's kind of her second act, which is quickly gaining traction amongst Gen Z fragrance aficionados and Jo Malone London OGs. She's also collaborating with Zara currently, and this is what's gotten her in hot water. On the bottle, it uses created by Jo Malone. Now, Estee Lauder is suing for breach of contract, allegedly, trademark infringement, and passing off. I feel like this is like quite layered. Jo Malone is not just a founder, she's also a content creator. I have been following Jo personally for maybe upwards of a year now, but she's been quite active on social media talking about her partnership with Zara in quite extensive detail and inspiration behind each fragrance, yada, yada, yada.
Zara must have found a loophole, though, to be able to put Jo Malone on that fragrance bottle. That would have been the first thing they looked up if they could actually do that. Maybe it's a part of the logo or something. They knew that Estee Lauder would come for them. Of course they would. It's a billion-dollar company and you're using Jo Malone in a completely different brand space. When she sold that brand in 1999, perhaps people who read business news knew about her sale. In this day and age with social media, everyone knows everything. It's kind of like Rode being sold to Elf. People were like, oh, it's going to change. And almost people stopped liking it as much. So brands like Sass and Bide or Zimmerman, they sold and you kind of saw the, fizzle a little bit.
Shift.
Yeah, and it's because that authenticity is no longer there. And I think that what Estee Lauder has done is shot themselves in the foot because
Agreed.
They've made this so public that people go, wait, Jo Malone isn't owned by Jo Malone anymore? Because that was my first thought. I didn't realize Jo Malone wasn't actually involved in the company anymore.
Wasn't Estee Lauder.
I knew it was Estee Lauder, but I didn't know that it was...
Jo Malone wasn't involved. Yes. I've worked at multiple brands that have a founder and the founder has sold the business, but they're still a creative lead and like a creative director of sorts where they are an integral part of the brand image and driving the brand.
I reckon that they might actually see sales plummet from people who are repurchasers.
I also kind of think this is a running trend with Estee Lauder brands as well. Bobbi Brown famously sold to Estee Lauder companies another namesake brand. And then we know Bobbi Brown has launched Jones Road, which has been popping off on socials, by the way. Last year, I felt like I couldn't escape Jones Road. It was everywhere.
Essentially, Bobbi Brown is another woman in the beauty industry who had sold her namesake brand to Estee Lauder. She sold it for $74.5 million in 1995, equates to about $159 million by today's standards. When she sold her brand, she had a 25-year non-compete. So I actually think that's insanity for $74 million. But on the day that that non-compete ended, she launched Jones Road.
And then I think someone that's done it right and done a structure that works in their favor is Charlotte Tilbury. She is someone that still very much has creative control and ownership of the brand in the sense of the creative direction and the movement. And I also think she's a majority stakeholder still. And I think one thing Estee Lauder did well with both Bobbi Brown and Jo Malone, to be really honest. I know you said you thought Jo Malone was still part of the brand, but I thought Jo Malone London was a feeling and a being versus an actual human being. I didn't think it was associated with a person. Much like Bobbi Brown too. I didn't realize Bobbi Brown was a makeup artist. I didn't realize it was makeup artistry driven. I just thought Bobbi Brown was a cute name for a makeup brand. So I think they have done a really good job of separating founders from the brand. I think it does pose a really good overarching question of IP and how important one's name is.
I would always advise someone not to make their brand name their name. I think that's a big no-no.
I mean, this isn't the Ali and Shane show.
You know what I mean?
It's in
the vault with Ali and Shane.
So on that note, there's a few red flags those girlies miss. What's your biggest red flag that you've missed, Stol?
Oh, I used to have this boyfriend who he was a bartender, and every time we went out, we would get a wine and he would aerate the wine in his mouth every sip. every sip.
What, like a little yeah. No. No, 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 no.
I had my birthday and my family obviously like, well, bring your new boyfriend. And he did it in front of my family. And my dad said, who's this dickhead you brought? Just drink the wine. I think I was actually the red flag because I had this whole period in my early 20s where I couldn't break up with someone. So I would just become the worst person to be around until they broke up.
Until they left me. Yeah. My red flag. Okay. I was seeing a guy on paper, fine, cute, normal, good looking, good job, nothing alarming. But he had this one habit that I literally just like couldn't get past. He wouldn't shower before bed.
Oh, okay. Backstory. Shane is very clean. Very clean.
I am. I'm very clean. I'm a bit of a clean freak. I would say I'm like borderline OCD.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to get over that. And the good thing about having Freddie is he makes me naturally get over that. I have no choice. But yeah, he wouldn't shower before he went to bed, which honestly, I think if you've been lazing around the house, having a chill day, whatever, but he would be in a dirty ass suit all day, walking around sweating, and then coming home and going into bed like that. Anyway, it was gross. And it was to the point where you could smell the BO. Yuck. I'm a two shower a day boy because I know I sweat. I sweat a lot. Same. I'm naturally just a bit of a svitzer. So I need to have 2 showers to feel clean. And I also don't want to like offend anyone. But the breaking point for me was I was making the bed one morning, being a cutesy little fling that I was. And I looked at his side of the bed and I'm telling you, doll, the sheets were like 5 shades darker than the sheets on my side, which were nice and clean. And on his side, it was a stain. Isn't that disgusting? Made me sick. I can never see you again. Disgusting. Can I say I've never looked at my sheets in my life and been like, oh, my side's a little bit darker than Josh's. Like, no.
And also like,
they're both the same color.
Like, well, how often do you wash your sheets?
Every week.
Yeah, same. I used to work at Sheridan.
Your Sheridan is my crust pizza. I love telling people I worked at Crust. You love telling people you worked at Sheridan.
Second in charge.
She won't let you forget that either.
No.
No.
But you're meant to change your pillow every 6 months.
No one does that. Do you do that?
Shane, I've had the same pillow since I've met Jimmy.
Yeah.
8 years.
I
haven't changed my pillows since I worked at Sheridan and I got that sweet 70% off. That's wild though on your part. I had a friend who she was sleeping with this guy. This is like way back in the day. And she would wake up and there would be shit stains on his side of the bed. Like he must have really not wiped.
That makes me sick. I'd burn the bed. I'd be like, bye. I don't want it. And I'd send him an invoice for the bed. Yuck. Should we talk about a few responses that we got?
Yes, let's do it.
We now have an anonymous submission. So we've created a cutesy form that everyone should please submit to in future weeks. This red flag is familial. It says, my sister has always been a bit dramatic, but not in a funny way, in a way where everything somehow becomes about her.
Ashley.
For context, guys, I sent this to Ali earlier and I was like, oh, your sister definitely wrote this about you. Because I found out from a little birdie that Ashley got Ali a little present and Ali decided not to share it last week and Ash was obviously quite upset about it. Rightly so.
Because it would create friendship fallouts.
Oh, whatever. Moving on, birthdays, dinners, big events. If someone else had something going on, she'd suddenly be in a mood or going through something and the attention would just shift. Like the whole house would just adjust depending on how she was feeling. Plans would change. People would apologize to her. And I genuinely thought that was normal. It wasn't until a friend pointed it out to me that I realized how weird it was and everyone was basically walking on eggshells around one person. The moment it really clicked was at a family dinner when I was trying to talk about getting a promotion, and she cut in to say she was thinking of quitting her job because no one appreciates her. And somehow the conversation just turned into everyone comforting her. Sorry, doll, this is sounding like 2020 Ali Rose Gray.
No, when I read it, I was like, Ash, you know you can just come and talk to me.
I'm dead.
Giving little sister energy.
Yeah, it's giving little sister energy. I didn't even finish my story. Anyway, I love her, but I've definitely stopped feeding into it. Thanks for submitting that, Ash.
As a little sister, I can relate to making everything about me.
Oh, yeah. Hello, I'm the baby of the family.
And an Aries.
Yeah, and I'm an Aries. So my mum's the baby of her family, and then I'm the baby of the family. So I was always the youngest. I was always babied the most. I don't want to say I was the fan favorite amongst many of my aunties and my nonna, but next one, doll. I ignored the most unhinged red flags for 8 months of my life. I feel bad about the sheets. This is even worse. This guy refused to drink water, like ever, said it was too plain and only drank coffee, tea, or Coke. Wild. His skin looked like a tired handbag, and I still said, haha, he's just dehydrated. Lol. My family hated him. Not subtly either. My mum went silent every time he walked in. My dad literally pulled me aside and said, something's off with this man. My nan, who hugs everyone, refused to hug him, and I still stayed. Oh, Nan was right, doll.
Why?
Nan was
Why?
right.
Because he was dehydrated?
Yeah. Well, he must have
Was he angry because he constantly had a headache?
Yeah, he must have just a bit thirsty, doll. He also clapped when planes crashed. Sorry. He also clapped when planes landed. That was a Freudian slip. He also clapped when planes landed every single time. Once he even tried to start a ripple on a Jetstar flight.
A ripple?
Like, you know, a ripple, a clap ripple.
Oh, far out.
He sounds horrible.
Can I say I've clapped once on a plane? Let me tell you, I didn't think I was coming back down. It was
I can imagine you being like,
London. I was like, thank
you. No, that's tragic, doll. It's like, you know what pisses me off on planes as well? People that just like stand the second the plane's landed. It's like,
oh, that's me.
Babe,
like,
we've got another 20 minutes. Like, come on, we've got another 20 minutes. Just sit down, relax. You've been on this plane for 3 hours already. What's an extra 20 minutes? A guy I started dating forgot his wallet on the first and second date, said he left it at home, but when he had a shower at my house, the empty, sad-looking wallet was in his jean pocket.
Did you open it and a little dust fly came out?
Broke.
A little moth?
No broke boys.
Not doing that.
Via DMs, a bracket, potential shag, cafe owner, lectures you on your decision to cut a sandwich he made because it ruins the dynamic of the sanger.
I actually have insight to this story. This is my friend. So she works near this Italian sandwich shop, right? Yeah. And she found out through the local smoothie shop because she's a woman about town.
She's supporting local, you know, she's shopping local.
Yeah,
Slay.
She supports local.
Diva.
She found out from the local smoothie shop that the guy from the Italian sandwich shop had a thing for her.
Okay.
So she goes in, she's like, okay, well, me and my friend will go in and we'll split a sandwich and suss this out.
Yeah.
Anyway, he did like her, but he got so icked out by the fact that she cut her sandwich in half that he proceeded to give her a huge lecture on why you shouldn't cut a sandwich and how degrading it is as the sandwich maker to have to cut a sandwich. Then he sent her a DM about how he will cut sandwiches for people, but he honestly finds it disgusting and disrespectful.
Doll, we loved, what was that sandwich shop in Rome? We were obsessed with it.
It
was so good. Something. Remember when we had to go to Tuscany in your bitch ass? For context, guys, we were road tripping from Rome to Tuscany for my wedding. Mind you, the car was literally full of luggage, as in we had luggage on top of us.
My head was over this way because there was luggage.
Literally.
I got a kink in my neck. Oh, and we also got a flat tire.
Yeah, and we also got a flat tire the second we got to the venue. It was fun, but that road trip was also cursed.
You guys were
checking out.
Hotel.
Checking out, and then we went to get some water. And
they took forever, and I was like, I'm getting hungry.
We get back to the car. Mind you, there's just like luggage next to the car, and Ali and Tom are nowhere to be seen. We're
Yeah.
like, where the hell are they? I call you and you're like, oh yeah, doll, I've just gone up the road to get a sandwich. Mind you, the sandwich store is like 10 minutes from the car and she's just left.
I was talking to Josh's friend Sam and I was like, where'd you get that sandwich? And he goes, it's just up the street. And I was like, wait, is it far? And he goes, no, it's literally just go straight and you'll get it. I was like, Tom, this is a really amazing sandwich shop. You should have one. And they're taking for freaking ever, so let's go get a sandwich. It was so far away.
Like, I reckon it's 15 minutes.
We walked there in the peak Italian summer sun. We wait for our sandwich. So it was probably a 30, 45-minute situation. We get back to the car and I just see Josh looking so pissed off at me. And me, not Tom.
And guys, for context as well, Josh never gets mad at anything. Like, it takes a lot to get Josh upset.
It takes Italian summer heat.
Yeah.
To get the best to everyone. Anyway, Shane, I remember this so clearly. Shane winds down his window and I was like, hey, doll, we just got a sandwich. She goes, get in the fucking car.
That was the beginning of my wedding diva tirade.
I had to give my sandwich up to Josh just to smooth things over because Josh also loved this sandwich.
He did. He was
so
obsessed.
Much.
We were all obsessed. Did you end up sitting in the middle or was it Tom?
No, smallest in the middle.
Tom.
Sorry. I'm 6 foot.
Yeah. You're not 6 foot. You're 5'10".
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Well, I'm taller than you then.
Are you?
Must be.
Big gal.
Long legs.
Ali, long legs.
Wait, sidestep. Because I lived in Thailand.
God, we're going to hear about this every episode. And let me tell you, this translates into real life. I reckon I hear the word Thailand more from Ali than I do from my coworker Daya, who's actually Thai.
I grew up there for 12 years, half my life.
And we know that. We know that. Half your life.
Anyway.
$1.30 now.
That's disgusting. Don't ever say that to me again.
I'm dead.
Anyway, but for photo day, I would always be up the back. And I'd be like, oh, it's because I'm Australian. Like, Australians are really tall. And like, that's just the narrative I had in my head. And then when I came back and lived in Australia, I realized I am actually just really tall.
You are tall for a gal. It's like most girls I know are like 5'5".
So trying something new, had a little scour on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I had a look at what red flags people are excusing just a little too often. Forcing your partner to end friendships.
Is the friendship toxic? Forcing them to stop all friendships, that's toxic as fuck. But like, sorry, no, actually you should never force them to stop a friendship because you know what? Ultimately it's their problem.
Or I'm going to look at how I'm involved with you.
That's right.
If I really don't like them, I'm going to start questioning why I'm with you.
Yeah. 100%.
Ghosting someone instead of communicating?
No, ghosting someone instead of communicating. I think that's, again, vibe pending.
They're either the victim or the hero in every story they tell. People that walk ahead of you. Yeah, that's weird.
I don't think it's that bad. I'm quite a fast walker.
Oh, you were doing that the whole way through Italy. I was like, hi.
Well, I'm gay.
We're back
Gay
here.
people historically walk faster than the straights. It's a thing.
Not interested in anything you have to talk about, but expects you to listen to everything about them.
Oh, hate. Oh, doll. Another week. Dunzo.
Another day, another sleigh.
Another day, another sleigh. We don't really have a name for the audience, by the way. I think they should be the Volters.
Volters. What do you think? Yeah, that sounds good.
That's cute, right?
I like it.
Doll, do you want to tell the Volters what the topic is for next week?
Good. Yeah, sure. I did forget it. So why don't we go back to you?
Oh, okay. So next week's topic is a time you got caught doing something you shouldn't.
I can think of a few things.
Same. I can think of far too many things.
You guys, thank you so much for listening in. If you got this far, the little pink heart in the comments. We would love to hear from you. And you might just get a little gift in the mail if you do.
Will they?
No. But you will get a token of our appreciation.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys.
We love you so much.
We love you. Mwah. Bye.